Coming up, scores, results and tables from the Super League and the NRL. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Isle Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. So we're back with another episode today where we are covering the results from the Super League and the NRL. Well, that's what we're going to do to begin with, and we are going to start in the NRL as they started the week earlier than Super League. Well, what happened on Friday? Well, it all started with the New Zealand Warriors dominating St George Illawarra Dragons 48 points to 18 at the WIN Stadium in Wollongong. Star of the show was got to be Dellen Watene-Zelezniak as he scored 4 tries on his right wing. Opening the scoring on the 4th minute was Zelezniak before Tyrell Sloan put on the afterburners and scored on the 13th minute. Marcelo Montoya, Bailey Saarinen, and Jackson Ford all went over for a try apiece during the Warriors' 7-minute scoring spree, 3 tries in 7 minutes, and a half-time lead of 20 points to 6, thanks to Sean Johnson converting 2 of the four tries that went in. Zane Musgrove got over the try line after Murata Nakora was sent to the sin bin for the Warriors, but the Warriors came back as Watene-Zelezniak scored his second try of the game. John Johnson scored on the 53rd minute, Rocco Berry on the 56th minute, before Francis Molo responded for the Dragons. Zach Lomax converted 3 from 3 for the 18 points, and the scoring only went one direction after this. Dellen Watene-Zelezniak with 2 more tries. Sean Johnson finished off with 6 from 9 and 48 points in total for the Warriors. Ben Hunt was not too happy after the game. Saturday and Sunday they had 3 games apiece in 6 games from the NRL, starting off with the Eels defeating the Dolphins 48 points to 20. Andrew Davey, Jermaine Hopgood, Will Penasini, Clint Gutherson, Penasini again, Simonson and Russell all got first half tries to set the Eels on the way for a 42 points to 4 half-time lead. Braden McGrady had actually opened the scoring for the Dolphins and in the game. Second half though, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow scored twice either side of a Valance Tavare try, and Jermaine Izakos converted 2 from 4 on the day, but Mitchell Moses 8 from 8 after Clint Gutherson scored the final points for the Eels before Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow's second try was enough to seal the victory in the Eels' favour, who rocket up the table. Saturday's second game saw Penrith Panthers defeat the Newcastle Knights 20 points to 12, as the Knights had the Panthers worried for most of the game, despite having Jack Hetherington sent to the sin bin on the 37th minute. Dylan Edwards traded tries with Kalen Ponga early on before Tyrone Peachy got a double just before half-time. Jackson Hastings responded to a Jermaine Salmon try on the 54th minute as both people taking kicks, Jack Cogger for the Panthers and the Knights having Jackson Hastings hit 2 conversions, Cogger 2 from 4. Half-time scoreline may have been 16 points to 6, but only the try in the second half, the converted try for the Knights in the second, were the points. Good effort from the Knights, but not good enough for the day. We move on to the Storm now as they beat the Seagulls 24 points to 6 in the final game on Saturday. Jerome Hughes, Jonah Paze, Nelson Asafa-Solomona and 2 tries from Xavier Coates were enough to cancel out the opening try from Hamole Olakawatu. Ruben Garrett converted that try, but Nick Meaney got 2 from his 5 conversions, and it could have been a lot worse for the Manly Seagulls in terms of scoreline if he had converted the other 3. Sunday opened up with a shock of the round as, with interim coach in charge, the Gold Coast Titans beat the Brisbane Broncos 18 points to 12. The scoring started with the Broncos' Thomas Fledgler before David Fifita went over for a 6-all halftime scoreline, with Tane Boyd kicking over his conversion and Adam Reynolds kicking for his, before Brian Kelly and Alafiana Camperera got 2 tries in 9 minutes. Tane Boyd converted Camperera's try, but Ezra Mam got a try back on the 61st minute with Reynolds converting, before Boyd going to the sin bin on the 74th minute. Despite all this, there was no further scoring, and the Titans came away from Suncorp Stadium with the derby win. Now on to North Queensland Cowboys' victory over the South Sydney Rabbitohs, as it was a 31 points to 6 victory, despite the first half being a low-scoring affair. Murray Tuilagi scored on the 30th minute, which Valentine Holmes wasn't able to convert, but Scott Drinkwater got a drop goal just before half-time to make it 5-0 at half-time. Val Holmes got a couple of tries after half-time and converted both his tries to give a further lead to the Cowboys, before the Rabbitohs responded with a Lachlan Ilias and a Blake Rattaf conversion. Gilukifa Finafueka scored on the 69th minute before Tom Dearden closed out the try scoring on the 77th, which Valentine Holmes added the extras to. He also got a penalty on the 63rd minute for the 31 points. The Rabbitohs, not sure what they're doing, but they're losing these home games, which are all important. And that brings us to the Rabbitohs' neighbours, the Roosters, as they were defeated by the Raiders at home at Allianz Stadium, 18 points to 20. It was Jack Whiteson who got up higher than James Tedesco to open up the scoring off a great inside kick, before Albert Hapawate scored on the 21st minute. Matthew Timoko scored on the 28th minute, and the Raiders were hoping to go in half-time at 18 points to 0, but Joseph Manu scored on the 39th minute to make it 18-6 with the conversions. Jared Croker kicked 1 penalty and 2 conversions to get those 18 points going into half-time, and Sandon Smith converted the Manu try. Manu got a second just after the half-time recommencement of the game, and Jared Croker got a penalty in response for the Raiders. That was the telling blow, as Lindsay Collins scored on the 75th minute, with Sandon Smith converting those 2 tries for the Roosters, but ultimately coming up in defeat to the Raiders. And with that, here is what the top 8 look like first of all. Well, here's the ladder, and we'll start with the top 8. Penrith Panthers are on top, having played 15 games and got 24 points thanks to their 2 byes. The Broncos would have been top. No, they wouldn't, because of points difference not being as good due to their inferior defence. But I've played 16, they've got 24 points and only have 1 bye. Melbourne Storm have joined those 2 teams on 24 points at the top of the table, yet very, very compact now after the Broncos were runaway successes at the beginning of the season. The Storm also have 2 byes to their name. The Sharks, who didn't play, have got 14 games, 22 points and 3 byes to their name, while the Warriors have made that victory against St George Illawarra Dragons fantastic, as they move up to 5th place with 15 games played, 22 points as well, and 2 byes. The same record goes for the Raiders, as they are now in 6th place. Then another 3 teams are on 20 points. The Eels with 1 bye and 16 games played. the Rabbitohs, exactly the same record. And then in 9th place come the Titans with 3 byes, only played 14 games, for a 7-7 record. The Cowboys and the Dolphins are on the same points as well as the Roosters, 18 points, with the Cowboys playing a game more. Before we come to the Seagulls on 17 points in 13th place, playing 15 games. The Knights come next, 15 from 15. The Bulldogs, who didn't play as well, but move up a place due to their 14 points from 15 games. West Tigers and the Dragons are both on 12 points apiece. West Tigers didn't play also, but the Dragons' loss sees them rooted to the table. Shane Flanagan cannot come quick enough. So with that, we jump straight into Super League, as there was a full list of fixtures this weekend, as we see right here, as Hull FC kicked us off versus Saints, before Leeds Rhinos was a TV game on Friday against Huddersfield Giants, Hull KR versus Wakefield Trinity, and Castleford Tigers versus Warrington Wolves were both shown as played as of Friday night as well. Lee Leopards travelled to Catalans Dragons on Saturday, while Salford Red Devils entertained Wigan Warriors on Sunday. And we start with the Hull versus Saints game, as it was Hull that got revenge over St Helens to win that game. A 34 points to 6 victory saw Tony Smith's sides get one over St Helens, as Darnell McIntosh, Jake Clifford, Cameron Scott, Chris Sarte, Jake Truman and Carlos Tuimavave went over for a try apiece. Saints had one try from James Bell, who scored in the previous fixture as well, and John Bennison converted. Jake Clifford kicked 5 goals on the night. Next we come to that Leeds versus Huddersfield Giants game, as it was a 54 points to 0 victory on the Rhinos' behalf as we opened up Friday night. Sam Walters with a double, Reece Martin with a double, and David Fusitua with 2 as well, with follow-up tries from James McDonald, Ash Hanley and Richie Myler, getting the game all done and dusted. Reece Martin converted 9 conversion attempts from 9. 22 points to 0 at half time. It was only ever going to go one way. Next we come to the big win for Castleford Tigers, as they beat Warrington Wolves 23 points to 14. Jack Broadbent, Will Tate and Jason Carey got tries apiece, as a younger Castleford side on a show against Warrington. Gareth Widdop kicked 5 goals, 3 conversions and 2 penalties, and a monster drop goal from 45 metres. Connor Wrench and 2 tries from Matty Ashton, who consistently is having a great season for Warrington Wolves, and also 1 goal from Peter Matautia, were the 14 points in the second half for Warrington Wolves. But they still went down to a swinging Castleford Tigers. And finally on Friday we come to the Selwyn Group Craven Park, as Hull KR beat Wakefield Trinity 28 points to 12. Mikey Lewis and 2 tries apiece from Tom Opacic and Lewis Sr. were enough to see Wakefield off. Rowan Milnes converted 4 from his 5 conversion attempts. Luke Gale, and who was on debut, and Romain Franco, who's having a good start to his Wakefield career, got a try apiece, while Will Dagger converted 2 against his former club. Saturday sees the game between Catalans Dragons and the Leopards, and what a game they put on, as the 2 sides remained close throughout the entire game. 38 points to 30 in the end towards the Catalans team, and 20 points to 18 at half time during this game at Stade Gilbert Brutus. Tom Johnson and Ben Garcia got 2 tries apiece, and Artur Romano and Artur Morgs got a try each. There was 5 goals made by Artur Morgs. Sorry, 7 goals made for Artur Morgs for the full 38 points. Lee took the lead close towards the end of the game, but did not have enough in the tank, I'm afraid, to overcome Catalans this time around. Tries from Tom Briscoe, Edwin Apapi, Josh Charnley, and 2 from Ed Chamberlain were made up the tries for the 30 points, with Ben Reynolds perfect with the boot, 5 from 5. And finally, Salford Red Devils came unstuck against Wigan Warriors as the Warriors ran out 26 points to 6 victors. And despite taking the lead following Liam Marshall's opening try, Ben Halliwell and Mark Sneed responded, but they were the only points as Liam Farrell went over twice, Abab Smitsky went over, Joe Shorrocks as well finished the job in the Warriors' favour. Kicking is still an issue for the Warriors, but Harry Smith got 3 from his 5 attempts. And with that, here is how the league table stands as we go into, as we conclude round 16. Catalan Dragons are 2 points clear at the top of the table from Warrington Wolves, their 12th win of the season. Warrington are not having the best of times at this moment in time, losing players and losing in the Pontefract area. 22 points they're on though in second place. Wigan Warriors recovered from their slump in recent weeks to be on 20 points and be above Lee Leopards and Salford Red Devils. Saints could join them eventually when they finally work out when that game against Huddersfield gets played, but that for now they're on 18 points with Hull KR. Leeds are now next in the table as they are in 8th with 14 points, who join Hull FC on that mark. Huddersfield Giants have slipped down to 3rd in the table and in trouble of being caught by Castleford Tigers, who now have 8 points. Wakefield, though, have gone down to their 15th defeat of the season. It still doesn't look any different yet for Wakefield. Hey-ho. And with that, that's where we're going to end this episode, as I'm going to give you a little bit of a break as it's just a results service, and come back a little later with the news that I've been breaking when it comes with the sport and signings from Super League, as Wigan have signed 2. And there is news from the NRL involving Luke Brooks. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this first episode. I want to say like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your soon. But in the meantime, I wish you all the best. Please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.